Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another ARTlapse. On this week's ARTlapse, I will be painting the drag queen known as Detox, wearing her Marie Antoinette outfit from All Stars 2 to continue this wonderful trend of drag queen art. And I thought about what I should talk about today, and what feels like a theme that's been coming up not only in my life, but in the collective as well, is the theme of self-care. Now that we're all at home quarantined, well, this was my life before because I'm a homebody freelancer who likes to stay at home. Now that everyone's joined me on my level of isolation, I feel the theme of self-care is coming up. And I had a revelation in the shower yesterday. You know how they say it's about the journey and not the destination? I've always had to remind myself about that, to focus on the journey and not the goals, because as a goal-oriented person with lofty dreams, it's so easy to get caught up in the addictive cycle of completing and starting a new project and completing it, and starting a new project and completing it, starting a new project and completing it, that I've failed to celebrate my victories and I've failed to enjoy my accomplishments. Instead, I've put myself in this cyclical, stressful cycle that is constantly searching for that validation, constantly wanting more, to accomplish more, to do more, to create more. And that is just not sustainable energy. So I've always had to think about it's the journey, not the destination. And while I understand that, because what that means is it's about the moment in time you are in now, in this moment in time. It's about who you're sharing that moment in time with. It's about what accomplishments are you making and what celebrations are you having. But other than that, I think I've failed to understand what the journey actually means. So in the shower yesterday, I had this revelation that self-love is the journey. It is the journey. Like, every single action you do should be from a place of self-love. And if it isn't, don't do it. Are you eating that chocolate out of self-love or trying to fill a void? I'm speaking to myself, by the way. Are you relaxing because you've worked yourself out too much and you need a moment to recharge? Or are you just being lazy and not working out? Once again, speaking to myself here, folks. So, self-care and self-love is really like learning to be a good parent to yourself, to be your own best mom or best dad. Self-care and self-love involves self-care, whether you do that through hair masks or face masks or baths, just different ways to nurture yourself. It can be through eating mindfully and eating healthy foods that actually give you energy instead of just empty calories. It can be through discipline and having a structured routine so that you can have freedom to do all the things you want to do in a day. It can be scheduled playtime so you can make sure you have time to unwind and relax and enjoy. It can be through forgiveness of yourself when you slip up. It can be through rules in your life and boundaries boundaries within yourself and others. This is what it means to be a good parent to yourself. And this is what it means to come from a place of love in your journey. If you start going to a negative place, whether through judgment or criticism, then that is not from a place of love, and you're doing the journey wrong. You're actually going further away from your goals than towards them. And this is what I mean about the journey and the importance of self-love. Because how you manage yourself and how you take care of yourself is going to impact every single facet of your life. It is going to impact every single goal, person, routine, everything. I'm talking everything. The way you move through the world will change. And if the way you move through the world changes, then the way you're moving towards your goals change, even if it feels like you're doing the same work. Trust me, the work is different. Because everything is energy, and creation comes from that energy. So that state of that energy is of the utmost importance, and you are that energy. So you must learn to maintain your own energy and to nurture it, cultivate it, take care of it, maintain it. Maintain a positive vibe, maintain high energy and confidence and love within yourself so that you can set yourself up for the absolute most success and not feel drained. These are all lessons I have learned and have been learning while being in this freelance life. If you ever want to see what's wrong with your problem, put yourself in self-isolation, and I guarantee you will see that you're the source of pretty much all of it. And while there may be others who irritate you or push your buttons, we give those people permission to do that. And that's where we are responsible in that. And how we maintain and respond to things instead of react is our responsibility. So yeah, there might be an annoying person here or there. They should not change how you move through the world, is my point. And now I feel like most of the world has joined me in the self-isolation, and we're learning the limitations that we've imposed within ourselves by the way we treat ourselves. Because if you don't have anyone else around you to project onto and all you're left is with yourself in a mirror, you begin to see how all the negative aspects of your life are a part of your responsibility. Because it's like Jack Sparrow said, your problem isn't your problem is your attitude about the problem. And problems and obstacles are a natural part of life, and they're a necessary part of life for growth and evolution, because nothing grows when it's comfortable. But we don't need to suffer during them needlessly. And I am one of the biggest guilty parties of that. We cause ourselves to suffer through comparison to others on their journey, envy, wanting to reach those goals or acquire those rewards. And it doesn't come from a place of, and it doesn't need to come from a place of feeling like that person doesn't deserve it to be envious, but you can still be admire someone and envy them at the same time. Guilty as charged here. And so now I've been learning to practice self-love more and to take it more seriously and to uphold it to a greater standard, because it should be the standard. It should be the standard, not just for me, but for everyone. And I hope all of you who are listening to this, whether it's still quarantine time and you're in self-isolation, or if this is at a later date and you're out in the world, either way, I hope you are using the time with yourself very wisely, because like I said, it impacts everything. Because your energy determines the way you move through the world, and it determines what you create. And if your energy does this, then it's our responsibility to take care of this energy, to maintain it and keep it clean and keep it the best that it can be to best serve us, or else it's going to spin out of control. The energy will be there regardless, but whether it's positive or negative is up to you and how you maintain and nurture that. What are you doing in your life to actively show yourself that you love yourself? Do you smile at yourself in the mirror, or do you avoid your reflection? Do you go for the easy bag of Oreo cookies for a sweet snack, or do you go for that apple that's going to give you energy? Do you exercise to maintain your body, this meat machine that with muscles and bones, and take your vitamins? Or are you going to Snorlax on the couch and play Animal Crossing this whole time? These are all things I'm battling with. I'm not calling anyone out, by the way. And these are my struggles that I'm sharing with you all, that I'm learning to balance. And I think a part of it is learning to balance. Sometimes we want to control too much and force. And when you force, that energy is the wrong type of energy, honey. It'll lead you astray. Forcing and efforting just leads to more conflict and friction. So, for example, I've come up with the idea of going on the elliptical while playing Animal Crossing on the Nintendo Switch. Yesterday, I was on it for 75 minutes. Because I made this rule that, like, okay, if I want to play Animal Crossing during the week, I got to be on the elliptical. That's the only time. And so far, that's been working great. We'll see if that helps me get into shape. But that's what I mean, is compromises are possible, where instead of just turning into Snorlax on the couch with potato chips and Animal Crossing, I could be on the elliptical and feel like I'm powering the electricity of Animal Crossing and getting stuff done that serves me, while also catering to my inner child that wants to play Animal Crossing and have fun. So compromises are possible. And another way we can maintain our energy and keep a high vibe, I have found, is maintaining the 3 aspects of self, which will then impact the 4th aspect. So the 3 aspects of self that I try to prioritize in maintaining every day is my physical health, my mental health, and my spiritual health. Physically, I work out or go on walks, and I take my vitamins and supplements and my shakes, and eating right and eating mindfully. My mental health, I will journal out all my thoughts, get them out there onto paper, repeat affirmations to program in new beliefs that better serve me, read, relax, recharge. For my spiritual health, I will do a gratitude ritual where I list 10 things I'm grateful for every single day to maintain a spirit of gratitude, as well as meditate to calm the mind and to connect with the spirit. And if you maintain these 3 aspects of yourself, this is what determines your emotions. This determines how you feel. And what you feel directly impacts what you think. And what you think impacts what you do. So you see what I mean? It all kind of cycles into each other. And this is also important to remember. If you're going through a hard time, you can ask yourself, is there any way I can meet my physical needs? Any way I can meet my mental needs? Any way I can meet my spiritual needs? Sometimes you just gotta have a nice shower. A nice hot shower with music. That'll do the body good. Sometimes you just gotta journal or decompress and read. Let the mind relax from needing to always be fired up and thinking about stuff and problem solving. Are you taking time for your spiritual self and connecting with your inner peace in a way that in your inside world? Now, whether you're spiritual or not, this still applies to you. We can talk about this in a psychological sense. Are you connecting with your inner world out separate from the outside world? And are you maintaining the inner peace inside? All these things together, by maintaining all of these things together with an attitude of self-love, coming from a place of being your own best parent, will make you invincible. But it's tough being a human. It's so complex. Society rules and our own selves, as well as our programming growing up, we don't talk about these things. So we're all kind of like in kindergarten when it comes to self-care and self-love, and we're all learning it still. At least that's how I feel and how it has been for me. But these things are so important to remember and to maintain, and to always come from a place of self-love. And if you can start moving through your journey and asking yourself, does this serve me? Is this from a place of love? It's going to make your journey easier, because guess what? Self-love is the journey. We are on a journey to love ourselves the best that we can. And once we're at that place where we're our own best cheerleader, where we're our own best mom or dad, where we're our own best parent or guardian, etc., 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 that's when we as humans are unstoppable. Like, look at Oprah, RuPaul, Lady Gaga, all these people in our society who are these idols of society, preach self-love and self-acceptance because they figured out that journey and they are living it. And they want you to realize it too, that you are an unstoppable force. But the only thing stopping you is you, the unstoppable force. So if the unstoppable force stands in your way, it's the illusion of being stoppable. But the reality is, it's all an illusion. And because it's all an illusion, our mind can get wrapped up and obsessive about certain things and think in a very simplistic way. For example, if you want to accomplish a lot and be a hard worker, logically and rationally, your mind is telling you to work hard all the time. But if you work hard all the time, you run into burnout and things start to break down. Look at computers and technology and machinery. If it's running constantly, it breaks down. So naturally, that's what happens to us as well. And we're much more complex organic beings than machinery. So in reality, what is behind hard work and accomplishing a lot? Not just hard work, but eating right, sleeping, resting, playing, taking breaks, and hard work, because all of these things work naturally and symbiotically together to make sure and maintain your organic body and the different aspects of self: physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. They all work together. The last thing I wanted to leave you all with was something my soul sister Aisha shared with me as I was discussing these revelations with her yesterday. And she wanted to add courage to the formula of this self-love journey, that it takes courage to keep loving yourself and to protect your boundaries and to meet your needs, even when things are scary and even when reality is telling you that these needs and this self-love is not a priority and is not important to your well-being. Remember, in a capitalist society which profits off of your low self-esteem, loving yourself is a revolutionary act. I do not take credit for this quote. I saw it somewhere on Instagram. If you know where it comes from, please leave it in the comments down below and I will add credit. It's just, I saw it somewhere online. You know what I'm saying? So may we all be courageous enough to perform the revolutionary act of loving ourselves. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more of this content, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification to make sure you don't miss an update. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those in the comment section down below, and I'll definitely get to them. And if you'd like to see more of my content and have early access to YouTube videos, as well as Magic Cat's comic updates, you can head over to my Patreon, which is in a link in the description box down below. And for only $1 a month, get early access to all of my YouTube videos. Thank you all. Stay healthy, stay magical, and I'll catch you next time.